Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Stokastic.com MLB strategy show. Big ass slate tonight, huh? Yeah, looking forward to this one. And I will tell you guys out of the gate, I just recorded my segment for the perfect lineup. Josh and I crushed that yesterday. He nailed the top stack. I went with the combo of Spencer Strider, Christopher Sanchez paid up. Got like 60 combined from them. He went A's. Ended up being a nice day. Make sure you check that out today. It'll be out around 1 Eastern as always. And give yourself the shot of pretty easily winning a free week of MLB Sims. I mean, what better way to do it than that? But hey, good morning. Happy to have you guys here. This possibly is the most spread out pitching slate I've seen all season. I saw somebody mention in the comments just a second ago before the show got started. There it is. Trey, what's up, Trey? Saying actually some decent pitching on today's slate. No doubt about it. But I mean, it's intimidating almost, right? We do not have a single pitcher projected for more than 20% ownership right now. Crazy. Like you've got, yes, a large slate, and oftentimes you're going to see ownership spread out. But usually there's always one or two guys that kind of rise to the top of the ownership, right? Because they're just kind of in a great spot. But there's nobody. I mean, look at this for a second. Let me sort by the top. Let me sort by ownership today. Flaherty's at 20%. Freed, Bybee, Bird, the Songbird, sorry. Pavetta in a good spot. Hunter Brown, always viable. Zach Wheeler against a Mets team that is asleep at the wheel recently. Dude, they were 5.5 games up on Philly. Now they're tied for first place. And that's over the last 6 days. You know, they've lost, 6 straight games, I think it is. We won't even get into some of the value yet because I want to build up the suspense before we get into some of these mid-range and cheap options. One guy making his first start of the year. Previously, he's made plenty of starts, 22% K rate. Against the worst team against right-handed pitching in baseball. So yes, we got a fun one, man. We have a fun one. All right. So if you guys don't mind, I know many of you are happy to do so, and I'm greatly appreciative. Before we get started, could you do me a single solid here and hit that thumbs up? Atone for your sins this fine morning. We're heading into the weekend. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, man. If you hate it, just forget we ever existed, you know? We will gladly refund your misery. And leave a comment down below. I love seeing those comments for those of you guys that listen and watch after the fact. Let us know you're here, right? Don't just drift off into the void. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Very much so. Got a nice day here. Going to be 80 degrees. Got a nice 2-mile walk-in with the family and the dog today. I mean, we're in good spirits. Is there anything better than getting some sun in the morning? Nice, 60-degree crisp air. It's the best. It puts me in a good mood. But let's do it. Let's talk baseball. Einsteinium, I don't see how you don't just play Hunter Brown today. Honestly, the way you don't play Hunter Brown is there are so many other good pitching options on the slate as well. I mean, Hunter Brown against the K-heavy Angels is highly enticing, but so are so many of these other options. K, is that mod? I always get the MCD. I'm taking a chance on Junk against the Braves. What an unfortunate name for a pitcher. Like, you better have really good stuff if your last name is Junk. I even looked it up. I was like, maybe the J is silent, you know? Maybe it's pronounced with an H. It's not. His name's Jansen Junk. I mean, that's tough. So yeah, you'd hope that he can be better than his name would suggest. But good morning to all of you guys. Glad you could join. Tell your friends about the show. Get them into DFS, man. Let's keep DFS thriving. So here's what I want to talk about. I want to start with Jack Flaherty, and then we'll work our way through these guys. He's getting 20.9%, but it's not like he's far and away the most owned pitcher. I think the interesting thing about a guy in Flaherty is he has a 29% K rate on the year. And he's look, if we're being completely honest, he's still one of the better overall pitchers in baseball. Flaherty's still a good pitcher. I know he's got a low 4 ERA, but the funny thing is coming into that last game, he was like sub mid 3 ERA, and he just happened to get shelled. It happens. You look at Ranger Suarez, his first start, he got annihilated. Took him forever to get that ERA down, and now he's in the low 2s. Good pitchers are good pitchers. They'll have some bad instances, and they'll get rocked from time to time like Flaherty did. But prior to that, his last 5 starts, he'd been really good, and he is really good. So I understand why he's getting this ownership. Now, it's not lost on me that, number one, this matchup is not that good, right? It's not. Yes, the Rays strike out at a pretty high clip, but also this park is highly conducive to hitters. It's once again going to be flirting with like 90 degrees again. And for like the 19th straight day, you have some weather concerns there where the rain might be a problem. So there's that. Clifford, the best upside on the slate, Tampa pitcher. I'm not even saying you're wrong, brother, but you got to say his name. If you have that, if you're going to pop in the chat with that much conviction, Clifford, spell his whole name out and do it in caps, for God's sake. Laffy, you see this weather in Coors? Yes, it is a Coors Field slate. 96-degree weather with 13-mile-per-hour winds blowing out to right field. You can't make this shit up. Incredible hitting weather there. You know what the total is in this game? It's sitting at a pedestrian 12 runs. 12 runs. The Diamondbacks have Zach Gallen on the mound, who admittedly hasn't even been that good this year. Probably his worst season as a pro. I can't imagine it isn't. And Austin Gomber for the Colorado Rockies. He's made 1 start this year. Was good in Atlanta. But the Arizona Diamondbacks have an implied total of 7.4. Now, to put that in perspective, no other team is north of 5.7. They have an implied total that is almost 2 runs higher than the next closest team. Does that mean that they get there today? No, obviously not. Maybe Austin Gomber goes out there and surprises all of us. We've seen crazier things happen. But a 7.4 run total. 96-degree temperatures with winds blowing out. Winds blowing out to right field at 13 miles per hour. Now, Austin Gomber is a lefty. So there's that, right? I mean, hell, if winds were blowing out to left field, for these pulled home runs, crazy stuff. But still, 12 run total and a 7.5 almost for Arizona is nuts. We'll get into all of that. But I do want to talk about some of the pitchers we have on this slate because I think it's so good for pitching, right? So at the top, Flaherty, if you're going to get the Flaherty, you should feel okay about it, even though the matchup isn't great. 8,500 at that for a guy of his caliber is good. But then you've got, look at the high-priced options on this slate. This is what blows my mind. I want you guys to tell me which one of these guys you wouldn't play. Obviously, Mackenzie Gore kind of feels like the odd man out going into LA against the Dodgers. Just given that you have so many other top-tier pitchers on this slate, as good as he's been, as incredible as his strikeout stuff is on the season, and it's outrageously good, right? It wasn't more than, and I don't know if it's still there, but it wasn't more than a couple weeks ago that he had the highest strikeout rate in all of pitching. He may still have the highest K rate. I'll tell you right now. Highest strikeout rate of any pitcher this year. Mackenzie Gore is still number 1. But here's the other thing. You know who's number 2 and number 3? This is nuts. This is when I say this is the weirdest pitching slate we've seen all year, potentially. Number 2, Zach Wheeler. Number 3, Hunter Brown. All 3 of these guys are on the same slate. You want to know who number 9 is? Jack Flaherty. Number 10, Joe Ryan. We have 5 of the 10 highest strikeout pitchers on the same slate today. Now, naturally, guys like Gore and even Ryan aren't going to pop quite as much. But Nick Pavetta's 9,300. And he has the 14th highest K rate of any pitcher in the league, really tied for 12th. Mizorowski, it's like, I love this guy's stuff. We went on and on about him yesterday morning, even though he wasn't on the slate. I love him today, but I just don't know how you're playing him with all of these other options. And while Max Fried, has a 26% K rate, so still really solid stuff. He's an elite pitcher. He's been practically unhittable at home. He has a 53% ground ball rate, and the Baltimore Orioles have been outright trash against lefties this year. So that's why I say this slate's almost intimidating. I mean, the New York Mets offense has been truly dormant. Wheeler's as good as it possibly gets. Hunter Brown is a dominant stud. Max Fried, say the same against the Baltimore team that is legit bottom 3 in WRC plus against left-handed pitching this year. Pavetta's got a home matchup against the Royals, who have a 3.6 run implied total. We'll look at our exposures in a minute. But Flaherty, Birdsong is another one. Boston's got a 3.9 total. You have no more Rafael Devers. You're in one of the preeminent pitchers' parks in the league. So when I tell you that nobody's getting more than 20% ownership, are you surprised that Fried's getting owned? Tanner Bybee against the Athletics, that actually scares me a little bit, but he's $7,000. Birdsong at 17, Pavetta at 14, Brown at 12, Wheeler at 12. And we didn't even talk about Kershaw. Kershaw got off to a rough start this year, but his last 2 starts, he's been really good. He's not the same pitcher he once was, but he's a cerebral guy. He's figuring out ways to get outs. And over his last 2 starts, what's he done? 12 innings, 1 earned, 12 strikeouts, 1 walk. I wish his pitch count was a little bit higher, though. That would be helpful. Roger, I think Mizorowski mows down my Twins. He might, man. Look, I really like this guy. I just wish it was a different slate. Quite frankly, I wish it was yesterday's day slate. The issue I have there isn't that he has insane stuff. He does, right? The guy is literally throwing a 96-mile-per-hour slider that looks like his four-seamer until it gets inches away from the plate and just breaks away. He's got some unhittable stuff. The concern that I have with Mizorowski on a slate like this is you are still taking a guy with a, borderline elite price point, borderline top tier salary, who has made 1 career start and has a real propensity to just start walking batters. And at the major league level, that's not going to play as well. You can't overlook the negatives just because you're enamored with the positives. And this guy at the minor league level, okay, at every level, has had a walk rate of 13% or higher. Think about that for a second. He's had a walk rate at every minor league level of 13% or higher. If things get away from you at the major league level, that can get a little bit scary. He walked 22% of the batters he faced last time out. He just didn't cough up any runs. It's crazy. So that's a little bit of a concern to me at 9K. Zach, I think the Yankees may be out of their slump. Today would be a great day for them to show that. Yesterday, despite 2 short delays, they put up 7. I wish it was more. I had a lot of Yankee stacks. I wish it was more. But they were okay. But really, Goldschmidt and Grisham did the bulk of the damage there. Judge had a late inning double, but aside from that, I guess Jazz was okay, right? I don't know. I think you've got a few guys that are just really great plays and nobody that jumps off the page. Washington's got a 3.9 run implied total today, sub 4 total against Kershaw. If Kershaw has another quality start, this could very possibly be the cheapest we get him all year. Shane Baz is a good pitcher at a mid-range price point. Obviously, Detroit's a good offense, and this park sucks for pitchers. But here's the guy we got to talk about. Spencer Turnbull. I like him today. I know he hasn't made a start this year, but throughout his career, he's made more than enough starts. Right? Spencer Turnbull, I mean, even with Philly. With Philly, he made a bunch of starts. I can't remember if it was Turnbull or somebody else who had the complete game shutout in his first start with the Phillies. I don't think it was. Who was it? Somebody help me out there. Who was it with the Phillies 2 years ago, I think, that came in and had a beautiful complete game shutout and then just unraveled following that? You guys are smart. One of you will let me know. Was it Lorenzen? I literally have Lorenzen pulled up. I have Lorenzen pulled up on Fangraphs right now because I thought it was him as well. I just couldn't remember. 2 years ago, right? That was my second guess. Let's see. Philly. No, his first start was 8 innings, 5 Ks, and then his second start was a no-hitter. His third start, he gave up 7 runs. And he was terrible after that. They put him into the bullpen. But yeah, it was a no-hitter. Anyway, Spencer Turnbull. I think there's something here. He's fifth. No, Rance, he wasn't. But for those 2 starts, he looked like the best damn pitcher in baseball. So if we're talking about Spencer Turnbull at 5,800, 51 pitches last time out. It was only 2 1/3 innings. He wasn't exactly great. But he's never been a particularly bad pitcher. Can we get 75, 80 pitches out of Turnbull today? 5,800. The White Sox are dead last in baseball against righties in WRC plus and WOBA. They have the 9th highest K rate, one of the lowest ISOs. This is objectively a very good matchup. They have a 4.1 run total. How often do you see that when you're getting a $5,800 pitcher? Not to mention that the Jays are minus 200 favorites at home. I honestly think Turnbull makes for a pretty good play here. He has the highest overall value percentage on the slate. Well ahead of Bybee, well ahead of Kershaw, Jeffrey Springs, Andre Palante, the old Junkmeister, the Songbird, Baz. Oh, Lorenzen is on the slate. Would you look at that? Blade Tidwell. I don't know. Maybe give me the name Jansen Junk. With the name Blade Tidwell, you have to be like the nerdy superhero in a Nickelodeon like adventure movie or a Disney adventure movie. The name is Blade Tidwell. That's tough. So we got Blade Tidwell and we got Jansen Junk and we got the Songbird all on the same slate. It just keeps getting stranger. But we didn't even talk about really Bybee yet. 18% ownership, $7,000. Quality overall pitcher. I don't love the park, but I think he's very much in play. And another thing worth considering is that if you're paying down for some of these arms, it's going to give you access to some of these more expensive teams, right? It's going to give you access. Let me pull up the top stacks tool. It's going to give you access to Arizona, 22% top stack probability, highest stack score by a mile. It's going to give you access to the Yankees. Going to give you access, believe it or not, even to Colorado, who has a high total, 5.5 runs. To Toronto against Davis Martin. Like, not all of these teams, I'm not saying they're all expensive, but there's a path where you can just essentially have access to any team you want. Are there any other pitchers you guys want to look at while we do this? Because the guys I think are viable right now, all of these at the bottom, I don't see us getting to much of them. Right? Even Mizorowski, Mackenzie Gore, I think it's pretty tough. If you guys do it, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter when that lineup wins, hopefully rocking the Stokastic avatar. But down here, there's not a ton I love. I don't think Hunter Dobbins is the craziest play at 3%. I also don't know if you need to do that. See, when you have really nobody getting considerable ownership, the leverage that you get over the field on a lot of these guys is so much less impactful or necessary than it would be on other slates. I've done this show, what's this, like the 60th show I've done this year? And how many times have we just outright faded some of these super chalky arms? 50, 60, 70% pitchers on shorter slates, and it's worked out great many times for us. But now you've got a huge slate, and you've got all of these cheap, all of these mid-range pitchers, all of these fringe high-end pitchers and elite tier pitchers, of whom look great. We have 12 pitchers between 8 and 20% ownership. You have guys like Hunter Brown and Wheeler and Kershaw that are getting 12 or less percent. Like, in really, great pitchers. Pivetta. Kansas City has the lowest total on the slate. He's only pulling 14%. This is the truest definition of a pick your poison type of slate for pitching. Right? I don't see a ton of ways around this one. My hope is genuinely that we are just more spread out. I'm hoping we are spread out at pitcher. My guess is that Flaherty, we get a decent amount of him, just given the price point and a guy that has, a top 15 strikeout rate in baseball. And, he has a long history of being able to eat up innings, maybe not as much this year, but, that's the reason we went to Christopher Sanchez on the main slate yesterday. The guy can just eat up frames. He only had 4 Ks, went 8 innings, 1 run, had a great game. Yeah, I agree, Zach. It's going to be fun building lineups for sure. Can't wait to see what I come up with in the Sims. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the Sims. And for those of you guys that haven't checked them out yet, I tell you all the time, simply DM me on Twitter at Lafay_D or on Instagram, LOUGHY_D. My handle's right there. Hey, Lafay, I was watching the show today. I heard you have a nice promo code that'll get me a great discount for the Sims. For a week or a month, you say? That's right. Whichever one you want. Just hit me up, man. Just hit me up. Or you can get it essentially for free by clicking the link in the description that says sign up with any of our sportsbook partners and get the Sims for a month for free. Choose one of the promos below. If you're in a non-legal betting state, we've got all these pick'em sites as well and all the sports books for you in legal states. Claim the offer. You have to click claim offer or we can't find you. After you do that, simply sign up, deposit. It's usually a $5 or $10 minimum deposit, and place a bet or build or make a lineup. Once that settles, take a screenshot of your welcome email, your first settled bet, and email us at support@stokastic.com. Literally a 3-minute process after your first bet settled. Plus, you're getting all of the benefits of some of these deposit bonuses, right? Massive first match deposit bonuses. Other books are giving you out bonus bets just for signing up. Others give you site credit. So you're getting that plus however many months of Stokastic sims you want. Each sportsbook, each pick'em site equals another month of whatever sport you are interested in. So a lot of ways to jump in on this. Hit me up as always. And of course, before we look at our pitcher exposure and get the stacks here, I got to do our people right, because when you rock that avatar, we show love around here. Lithuma, another 25K win. This guy is now taken down like 175K over the last month. Save some for us, guy. PJ Showdown, shouting out our boy Ben Rasa. And of course, Drew Ball, shout out to the Sims for last night's MLB pinch hit takedown. Bested 67K. Other lineups for a cool 750. And our boy Gizmo, of course, the Sims for the win with the 25K, second place in the 555. I love it. God, I love it. Hit me up or use the link, whatever you want to do. All right, let's dive back into this one and take a look at some of our exposures. I actually haven't looked yet, so this will be more fun. But I'm going to say Flaherty, Kershaw, if you guys want to take guesses for our top 3 exposed pitchers today. I'm going to say Flaherty, Kershaw, Turnbull. Flaherty, Kershaw, Turnbull as our 1, 2, 3. I feel like it has to be Flaherty because I know the Sims love these high strikeout guys at discounted price points. But those are my 3 here. Flaherty, Kershaw, Turnbull. Could be Fried, could be Bybee, could be the Songbird, might even be Wheeler or Brown. Andrew, Turnbull, Flaherty, Birdsong. Okay. I could see that being the case. The Songbird always finds a way to sneak into the Sims. I think that super favorable park bodes well for him within the tools. Boston with a 3.9 total. I get it. Einsteinium, Laffy, is it a better game environment, Coors or the Athletic Stadium? Oh, today, unquestionably, the Coors Stadium, man. Without question. Einsteinium, it has a total that is 3 runs higher. You do have winds blowing out in Sacramento, but it's 78 degrees. Meanwhile, it's 96 degrees with 13-mile-per-hour winds blowing out in altitude in the most hitter-friendly park known to man. Well, in the major leagues, of course. So definitely Coors. And I haven't looked at our stacks yet. But I will say within the top stacks tool, and we have already looked at this, there are a few teams that pop out that look good, but only one of them is really separating itself, and that is Arizona. I saw somebody mention at the top of the show, and they would be correct, that while Arizona has a 22% top stack probability, that still means there's a 78% chance they are not the top stack. Look, they're the number 1 stack on the slate, non-negotiable. I mean, it's obvious. Undisputed number 1 stack on the slate. Nobody's going to argue that. Does that mean you should have 100% Arizona on a large Friday night slate like this where almost every team is in action? No, of course not. However, they do look damn good. And coincidentally, we just happen to have a slate where you've got a slew of really good cheap end or low end cheaper pitchers that you can either pair together, play with a Flaherty, play with a Birdsong, play with a Wheeler, Brown, Fried, Pivetta. There's so many different ways to do it today. Not that you ever really see dupes in Major League Baseball, but my God, there's no way we're getting duped tonight. Here we go. The big reveal. Pitcher exposures. Flaherty, Birdsong, Turnbull, Kershaw. I was close. I omitted Birdsong from that. Please, Songbird, forgive me, but we're getting a lot of him. Flaherty, 48%. Birdsong, 30. Turnbull, 26. 5,800. I'm not surprised by that at all. At all. In this matchup, with such a low total for the White Sox. Kershaw, 22.7%. And even, okay, so then we've got, you have a tier break where Flaherty is in a tier of his own. We'll call that the, well, I'm not going to say S tier because it's just exposure. It doesn't mean necessarily how good of a pitcher they are. But from an exposure standpoint, Jack Flaherty's on an island. then I will include Birdsong, Turnbull, and Kershaw in the same. They're all within 7 or 8% of each other. And then you have the third tier here of Shane Baz, Tanner Bybee, and Max Fried actually being our highest exposed top tier pitcher. That is surprising to me. That right there is surprising. The fact that we're getting so little Hunter Brown and Zach Wheeler with 5 times the exposure to Max Fried, that stands out to me as surprising. Now, for what it's worth, Baltimore's been terrible against lefties. I like Max Fried today, but I also like Wheeler and I also like Brown. I thought it would be even more spread out than it is. 9% Pavetta. Then we're not really getting anybody else. Just trace amounts of Sugano, Gore, Kikuchi, Springs, Wheeler, Ryan, Gallen, Palante, Brown. Those are the guys up top that are kind of absorbing the bulk of exposure here. So then what does that mean for stacks? Let's think through this, right, before we even look at our stack exposure. What does that mean for stacks if our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 highest exposed guys are all between 7 and 8,500? Right? What does that mean? It means we have to be paying up for some stacks today. There's no two ways around it. I'd be genuinely surprised if Arizona is not our most popular team with the way exposure looks to pitchers. So let's see. All right, so this may be a little bit deceiving at first glance because Arizona 5-mans are our 4th most exposed, in line with Toronto and St. Louis, with Cleveland against Jeffrey Springs. No surprise there. You know, at Coors Light in Sacramento getting the most exposure. But what happens if we go into lineups and look at exposure caps? What is our overall exposure to Arizona? It's got to be second, right? Behind Cleveland. There you go. 30 total percent stacks, 3, 4, and 5-mans for the Guardians, 29% for Arizona, 19% for Toronto, and 15% for St. Louis. All right. St. Louis against Brady Singer. I feel like I have a little bit more respect for Singer than a lot of people. But again, this park, when it's really hot with wind and windy, can actually play really favorably for hitters. 92 degrees in St. Louis, 11-mile-per-hour winds blowing out to left field. Some of these temperatures are wild. 84 degrees at Citizens Bank Park with this Mets-Phillies game. Winds blowing to right field, kind of left to right, though, at 10 miles per hour. 83 degrees in Minnesota, winds blowing in. Colorado, yes, 96-degree temperatures, 13-mile-per-hour winds blowing out. 86 in Tampa with rain. 82 at Yankee Stadium, winds blowing to dead center at 11 miles per hour. Padres game, 64, so that's pretty favorable for pitchers. Guardians, 78 in this athletic stadium, winds blowing out at 11 miles per hour. 59 degrees in San Francisco, 24-mile-per-hour winds blowing out. But also, that park does a lot to kind of suppress the effects of wind. Nevertheless, that's our stack exposure. Top 5-man stacks for exposures right now. Cleveland against Springs, St. Louis against Singer, Toronto against Davis, Arizona against Gomber, and the Athletics sneaking their way in there against Tanner Bybee. Let's look at 4-mans. Are we getting a lot of 4-mans? No. Arizona, Cleveland, Toronto Athletics, the same exact thing, just a different order. 3-man is where we're getting a lot of Arizona. They're expensive, but I actually love this. I always feel like one of the best ways to get the Coors exposure is simply to say, all right, my lineup doesn't look great if I'm 5-man stacking with everything. But if I go and get a bunch of 3-man Arizona stacks, mixed in with what? Like Athletics 4 or 5 mans, with Cleveland 5 mans, then it starts looking damn good. Really good. So I like it. I like it a lot. Individual, actually, you know what I want to look at before we look at individual exposures? With our top sim lineups, what do the stacks look like? Flaherty, Kikuchi, Philly Athletics 4-4. I actually kind of love that against against Tidwell, Blade Tidwell. Not getting a lot of Philly though. Cleveland 3-man, a little isolated 3-man Cleveland stack. All right, here you go. St. Louis Athletics 5-2 with Flaherty Birdsong. Colorado Athletics 4-4 with Fried and Flaherty. That's sick. Athletics Cleveland 5-3 with Pavetta and the Songbird. Baz Turnbull with an Athletics Arizona 5-2. Do we have any Arizona Cleveland? Here you go. Cleveland Arizona 5-2. Flaherty Turnbull. Cleveland 5-2. Arizona Athletics Arizona 5-2. Cleveland Arizona 5-3. Oh, perfect. This is what I was looking for. See what the pitching looked like. Bybee and Turnbull. See if I can find another 5-3 or 4-3 Cleveland Arizona. Here's a 5-2. Flaherty Kershaw. Here's a 5-3. Baz Kershaw. 5-2. Okay, yeah, dude, we're getting to a lot of. Here's an Arizona 5-man. We actually have Max Fried in here and Turnbull. So really just so many different variations. So many different variations of stacks. Individual exposures. Outfield. Lane Thomas, Randall Grichuk, Lourdes Gurriel, Shohei Ohtani, and Lawrence Butler, who homered yesterday, rounding out the top 5. Cleveland, Arizona, Dodgers, Athletics. I like it. Shortstop, Gabriel Arias, 23%. Bo Bichette, 17%. Mason Wynn, Ernie Clement, Jeremy Pena. Cleveland, Toronto, St. Louis, Toronto, Houston. Third base, Jose Ramirez, Eugenio Suarez. So Cleveland, Arizona, Toronto Athletics. Ketel Marte, 40% right now. We're getting well over the field there. Brendan Donovan, Andres Jimenez, Luis Arias, and Jazz Chisholm. There's Jazz, but not a lot. Really just a ton of Ketel Marte. And then a ton of David Fry and Shohei Ohtani at first base, with some Vlad Wilson Contreras in there as well. David Fry, catcher, a lot. Alejandro Kirk, 16%. Ivan Herrera, 13%. So that's what we've got. There's your breakdown, fellas. As always, I hope this is valuable information to you, whether you're a Sims user where you have the tools or not. It's always going to be free here on the channel. I strive to each day to set us up as nicely and lay the foundation. As comprehensive, but also as succinct as possible. I love the community we've built around this, and it shows in the comments. You guys have been awesome. So I enjoy doing this. Do we not have any positive home run bets right now? No way. We're going to pull some homer bets up. The Portfolio EV tools have killed for homers this year. My boy Nathan, who does mostly betting stuff, you don't see him on the DFS side, but he's with us at OddsShopper, which is the betting side of Stokastic. He's been crushing these DraftKings homers lately. So we'll stick around and see if anything pops up. You ever want to check these out too? Buoy your losses. For those of you guys who are DFS players as well, and you love the thrill of the sweat, you don't have to just bet these as individual plays. Look, we have the parlay generator. Check this out. I could go in and be like, give me some 4-leg parlays. I want 10 of them. And this limit track bet count, you can actually set your exposure. So I'll say, all right, 3. which means that the same bet can't be used in more than 3 different parlays. Oh, why did that not work? Oh, I know why. Because I only had one of them active. So you go in here, generate a parlay. Let me pull off the, because I think you guys will like this. Pull this one out. What you can do is you can essentially just build them and then instantly add them into your bet slip. It's so sick. And it takes 2 seconds to build all of these out. That's literally all you have to do. Click generate parlays. Watch this. We'll do 3. We'll do 4 legs. We want to generate 25 parlays. For DFS players, this is the future, man. And there they are. You get your EV, your expected win, your recommended bet size based on the bankroll that you insert every single day, the odds. And let's say you have a profit boost, 30%. Plug your profit boost to see how big your edge is. That jumps to 42% EV. Look at all of these. Sick one on FanDuel right now, too. Marina Mabrey under 16.5 points. Wheeler under 6.5 Ks. Aja Wilson under, and by the way, WNBA props crush within these tools. Tyrese Halliburton under 6.5 assists. Boom. That's actually sick too because it's a 3-sport parlay plus 14.28. And if FanDuel decides they want to give you one of those 30% boosts they typically do for multi-sport parlays, you get that to 37.9% EV. So sick. Anyway, if you haven't done so yet, link in the description. Your first week is always free if you want to jump in on Portfolio EV. As DFS tournament players, I know many of you guys like parlays. This is the sickest way to do it. Not just in the summer, but in the fall with football and basketball and all of that. Build out your portfolios. You know exactly what bets are profitable before you ever even bet them because our portfolio lab is fully transparent with every bet that we've tracked in the tools that have been recommended. No hypotheticals. No hypotheticals. Just straight, here are the results. Here's what you have. These are the results. Boom. And you'll see positive and negative ROI. Select them into your sportsbook and you're in. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out. If you're signed up so far and you're not in the Discord yet, make sure to do so. But have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the weekend. Let's go Cleveland, Arizona, St. Louis, Toronto, the old Songbird, some Jack Flaherty. For those of you guys that jumped in late, here are our pitcher exposures. Flaherty, Birdsong, Turnbull, Kershaw, Baz, Bybee, and Fried at the top. And I'll see you guys back here Monday morning. Don't forget, perfect lineup with Josh Ingerman and myself. Solid bite-sized video, 5 to 7 minutes, Monday through Friday, right here on the Stokastic channel. Should be up in about an hour from now. So be sure to check that out. Leave your comment. Grab a free week of the Sims if you win. And if nothing else, come support it. Get some more information. Win tonight. And we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.